It is Thursday, February 21st, 2019. I want to start this evening out by saying this. We are living in a fake recovery, and it's being driven by fake stats and fake money created by the central banks, and it's becoming harder and harder for them to maintain this illusion. If there's one thing I can say right now this evening to you, we as a country, as an economy, are living on borrowed time. And now is the time to be getting prepared. You know, you could be the smartest person in your household, the smartest person at the office, the smartest person among your friends, but that isn't going to prepare you for what's coming unless you're awake. In fact, you can be the smartest person in the world and you're plain out ignorant if you're denying what we are witnessing right now happening here in America. It isn't going to be the smartest people that survive. It's going to be the most awoken people who are going to survive. For people out there who think they're too smart and believe that this can't happen, that their intellect is beyond these events taking place, they're oblivious, they're blinded to what is happening. It does not matter how smart someone is. What really matters is how awake you are. Are you reading the signs? Are you making an effort to prepare for what's coming to America socially and economically? Again, you could have the highest IQ in the room, but if you're not awake, it means nothing. The people who are awake are going to be the people who survive. Dow Jones was down 103 points today, and it should have been down a lot more. There is a lot of bad news coming out. There's bad news that came out after the markets closed, but when you start digging into what is happening, it's shocking that we're getting closer to 26,000 points on the Dow. We have unemployment creeping up. We were at 3.7%, and these numbers are very manipulated. I would say unemployment is probably closer to 10%. December, unemployment was at 3.9%. I think that's a little interesting since usually December we get a lot of job creation with all the part-time seasonal jobs, but we had 3.9% unemployment in December. Now, coming here into January, we hit 4%. I believe we're going to have an issue if February numbers rise beyond 4%. So that means that December, January, and February, we would have an increase in unemployment for the last 3 months. I think that would be a sign that, again, the economy is not as robust as they're telling us if unemployment is rising on a monthly basis. Big news after the markets closed today, Kraft Heinz. Their stock plunged 16% after hours. They disclose it has received a subpoena from the SEC as part of an investigation on its account policy. So basically, they're cooking the books. And how many other corporations are cooking the books? They stated they are going to be trimming their dividends at 40 cents per share. And I believe that this will probably, I would be surprised if this does not affect the markets tomorrow morning. Futures are down about 20 points right now, but this is not good news. Interesting article today on Reuters. There's a company in Australia, AV Jennings. They're a home developer in Melbourne and Sydney. They announced that they had a 91% drop in half-year profit. Housing is absolutely tanking in Australia. Builders and financial institutions are in huge trouble as these builders cannot pay these loans back. These banks are making loans and they're not being paid back. So it's putting the banks and the builders into big trouble here. And of course, the global economy is slowing down, so a lot of that Chinese money is not flowing into Australia like it was. So you're going to continue to have banks in trouble in Australia. You're going to continue to have builders and developers in trouble in Australia. And of course, the building industry supports so many other sectors of business. And so they are having just a brutal time in the housing market, in the real estate market in Australia right now. And we're seeing huge effects over here with the global economy slowing down also. But another interesting article that came out today was the world's largest shipping company, Maersk. Their outlook for 2019 was worse than what it was in 2018. They're reporting that 2018 that they had dismal earnings. CEO Soren Skou says the global economic outlook for 2019 is bleak. And so this is telling you that Maersk, the largest shipping company in the world, they're not shipping product, that this is a reflection of a slowdown globally, that there is not as much product to be shipping, less than there was last year because of trade tensions, oil prices surging, and the global slowdown. Their stock has been hit very hard. In fact, they were down as much as 10% today. It rebounded a little bit back up to about negative 8.5%. But they took a real hard hit, being hit as hard as 10% today. So that's another bellwether right there, what is happening globally. Right here at home, U.S. manufacturing PMI tumbles to 17-month low. It fell to 53.7 from 54.9. And again, that's the lowest in 17 months. Mark Kiesel, Chief Investment Officer at PIMCO, he was quoted saying it's time to get out of Dodge, time to get out of these markets because of the increasing U.S. deficit and the stress with the U.S. and China trade talks. And he goes on in this article on Zero Hedge. He believes that the market's already priced in a lot of the good news that we've had. And so now all we're getting is bad news, and that eventually this is going to shift the markets. They're going to come back down. They're going to be heading in a negative direction here because they've been just riding this sugar high of good news. And the sugar rush is coming to an end. And when it does, it's going to come down hard. So that's what Mark Kiesel over at PIMCO is saying. Very interesting article on Zero Hedge today. State of Illinois. They're hoping to fix a $134 billion pension shortfall by issuing what more? More debt. They want to issue $2 billion in bonds to raise cash. They did this back in 2003. It failed miserably. What else are they going to do? They're going to raise the taxes of the people who live in Illinois. I'm sure they'll raise real estate taxes and business taxes and county and state and you name it. Taxes across the board are going to go up. They want to hand over government assets like office buildings to their retirement system. So basically, their whole strategy is to create more debt to fix a problem that they tried to do back in 2003, didn't work, and so they're going to try it again. It's going to land up being a complete mess. But again, they want to go and hand over government assets like office buildings and put that into the retirement system. So I believe that Illinois is going to be a disaster. It basically now is the Venezuela of the United States of America. And this is what socialism brings. This is what these extreme leftist Democrats have done to the beautiful state of Illinois, to the beautiful city of Chicago. They have bankrupted it. And now they want to take other assets and use that to try and pay off this debt, which is never going to happen. They're going to take money from people who have money, They're going to tax you whatever way they can, whether it be when you're shopping, or it's going to be on your real estate taxes, your state taxes, whatever it may be. The state is going to try and fleece anybody with money in the state of Illinois to try and pay down this debt, which probably now is impossible to pay back. U.S. housing market in free fall as new buyers cannot afford to buy a home. We're looking at a 30-year fix at 4.5%, which is still extremely cheap. Look what people were paying back in the 80s and 90s for a 30-year. This is extremely cheap, yet most Americans now cannot afford to buy a home because of a 4.5% interest rate. Question is, what is going to happen when rates normalize? Rates at some point, maybe not this year, nobody knows, but maybe this year they don't touch rates. But at some point, rates are going to go up. They're going to have to normalize. What is going to happen to the housing market when rates normalize? When these rates normalize, this housing market is going to get annihilated. You know, people watch these TV shows. They read all this stuff in magazines. They watch, again, all these reality shows on TV about flipping houses, fixing up houses, buying a house as an investment, buying something that they can't afford. But we're bombarded on a daily basis, this promotion of owning a home, having to own a home, buying a home you can't afford, flipping a home. This stuff is not reality. The reality is people cannot afford to do this. It's getting harder and harder to even flip a home. People cannot afford homes. We have, multiple families living in homes, married couples with roommates, and yet Hollywood, the television, the magazines, all of this keeps promoting this utopia, this fantasy that it's so easy to own a home when people are living paycheck to paycheck, and people are getting suckered in to buying a home, living way beyond their means, and they're gonna take a major haircut because they watch reality TV and they want to be a reality TV star. Then they watch these reality real estate shows or these do-it-yourselves and these flips and all that, and they get lured into being one of these people that it's so easy, and they don't understand that they cannot afford this lifestyle. They're buying something to impress people, to impress friends, to impress people they don't know, to live beyond their means. And the TV has influenced so many people, and these people are living paycheck to paycheck. These people don't understand that. I don't know how you could buy a house right now knowing what's happening. These people have no understanding. They're not awake. They may be smart, but they're certainly not awake. But they're going to pay a severe financial price for what they're doing. So a little bit of good news today. Jussie Smollett has been arrested. He's out on a $100,000 bail. And it's good to see that there's been a little bit of justice served. We'll see if he serves a day in jail. That's to be seen. But the good news is he's been caught. He's been outed. He is a loser. He is a fake. And he is somebody that really should serve jail time for what he did. He really did jeopardize the safety of a lot of people. He's really helped to divide the country. And here's a loser who's making $1.17 million a year, and he says he did this because he wasn't making enough money and he needed the attention. Or did he really do it because he hates Trump and he hates the Trump supporters and he hates the right? Who really knows? But what we do know is he really could have gotten people hurt. He's a divider. And apparently, here's a guy making over $1 million a year, and it wasn't enough. A country who's been so good to this guy, where he's living in the top 1%, yet it wasn't enough. He had to really do a false flag racial attack on Trump supporters, and people in the conservative party, and it's really, really disgusting. I'm glad he got caught. I hope that he goes to jail. I hope that he pays a severe fine for what he did, because it's really an act of terrorism in the way I see it. Another story, another reason why we are blessed to be in America and why we cannot quit fighting for all of our rights, especially our Second Amendment. But there's an article here. Protesters have been executed in Venezuela for social media posts that were negative towards Maduro. And so what an unbelievable thing. A socialist country, yet we have so many people trying to convert America into a socialist nation. And here in the socialist country of Venezuela, if you go online and say something negative about the leader in Venezuela, they're going to come to your house, they're going to take you, and they're going to execute you. This is the direction we are heading in. Venezuela, they took the guns and disarmed this country, right? And so now they're defenseless, and when they come for you, you have no way to protect yourself. These citizens have no way to protect themselves from a socialist dictator like Maduro. Just think about how scary that would be here in America if they could just come to your house and take you. And the reason we're still holding on is because we have the Second Amendment here, and there are millions of people armed, and they fear starting something that the armed part of America will finish. So we can never, ever give up the guns. We've learned that from Nazi Germany, Stalin in Russia, Mao in China. The first thing they all did was disarm their populations, and then they killed hundreds, over 100 million people. And so here we have a case of it right here in Venezuela in 2019, where they come to your house because they didn't like what you said on social media, and they execute you. Horrible. We are living in very uncertain times here in America. You watch this video where you have a leftist student at Berkeley approach and attack a conservative student at Berkeley. And when you watch some of these episodes where the left absolutely goes ballistic because they don't like what somebody has to say, or again, they don't like a hat that somebody's wearing, they become very physical, very violent. And we are, again, are living in very uncertain times here in America, and very uncertain financial, economic times here in America. And just imagine the powder keg that could go off here in America. We have, I mean, everything, political, economic, and social uncertainty. And just imagine if something went off in America. Not only are you going to be dealing with up to 30 million people that are here illegally from all over the world, but you're going to be dealing with domestic terrorism, like people like this who believe that it's okay to just go up and attack somebody because of their belief.
Jesus Christ. What? Oh, shit.
This is a very dangerous time here in America, and it's another reason why I repeat myself many times that you need to be armed, you need to be training, and you better be holding some of this. For the economic uncertainty, you better be holding silver and gold, or have a bunch of silver. This is a steal right now, pulled back a little bit today. I think we're right around 1578 right now this evening. It is a steal. And to me, I don't care if it goes up 20 cents, down 40 cents, up 50, it doesn't matter. I'm buying metal to ensure my life and my wealth when this collapse hits America, because we're not going to be talking 40 or 50 cents. We're going to be talking hundreds of dollars for a piece of silver, okay? We're going to see things like this go up $10, $20, $30 a day, in my opinion. It's very, very likely. And you could be looking at silver at $100 an ounce, $500 an ounce. Who knows? When this dollar tanks, when this economy tanks, there's only going to be two things to run to. It's silver and gold. And you better have a gun to protect it. You better have a gun to protect yourself. Look at the radical left. Look at the violence. These people are out of their minds. Imagine what's going to happen when you have an economic collapse and people are hungry. If you think these people are hostile right now, what's going to happen when they can't take their psychotropic drugs, when they are frustrated and they're angry and they're going to blame you, they're going to blame this president, they're going to be out for blood. And so the best advice I can give in this video this evening is make sure you are preparing as much as you can, buying this stuff, and make sure that you own guns and ammo and that you're training. Of course, top off all your preps, food and water, very important. But financially, make sure you have medals. Physically, make sure you have guns, primarily a handgun and a rifle. And make sure you're training and stack ammo. Ammo is an asset. Make sure you have lots of it, because when times get bad, gold and silver is not going to be found anywhere, and ammunition is not going to be found anywhere either. So buy gold, buy silver, buy brass. That is the best advice I can give you. So that being said, have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching. Again, thank you so much for all the cards and the positive letters. Really do appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please share this video. We must, repeat, must continue to wake people up. It doesn't matter how smart somebody is. What matters is that they are awake and that they are preparing. A collapse is coming. It's getting very close. It is knocking at the door. The illusion can only be maintained for so much longer. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you very soon.